Hey traders, we're going to have a look at all the indexes. We're going to have a look at silver, gold, oil, Australian dollar, US dollar. We're going to have a quick look at all the indexes. So let's get straight into it. Do not place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video today, because trading is risky and it can cause substantial financial loss. There are so many areas you need to become good at to become a good trader. Emotional mastery, chart reading, trading systems, money and trade management. So this video is just educational only to help you become a much better trader. Alright, hey traders, let's actually have a look at, maybe my chair's squeaky today, isn't it? So let's actually have a look at what happened last night. So last night we can see the market ran up, but it came down. All right, so let's actually go back and let me show you what I see here. It's like, what's the market doing? What's the market doing? So guys, if you've been watching my analysis, you've been you know exactly what's happening. Guys, I believe a pretty big sell-off is about to happen in the markets. And the reason why is, once again, if you go back, if you've been watching my last videos, look at this here, a lower peak, lower peak, lower peak, lower peak, and now this is forming another lower peak. Guys, we've been pushing the lower peaks down. Sellers majorly have this in control. And if you're buying the market right now, if you're long the market, if you think the plunge protection team is going to take care of you, guys, get out, get out, get out, get out. You know, major warning for the buyers in this market. Major buyer warning, should I say. You know, do not be buying this market right now, because this is rolling over. This is getting ready to pop like that. Something's about to hit the market. We're rolling over, and this is looking very, very, very similar to the 1929, I think it was. So anyway, so we can see that that's what we're having, getting low peak, low peak, low peak on the Dow Jones. Remember what I said? If you haven't seen my video based on the biggest stock market crash in history, I did, I think, a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday it was. No, it was 2 days ago. If you haven't gone to see that, go see that. You understand what I'm saying here about this chart. Everything is lining up for a major pullback, a major, it might be a crash, it might not be a crash, but we're talking some, major selling is about to hit the market, or major selling is coming, and and you could just see it here on the charts. You can see how the stochastic's rolling over. We've got a good volume spike as well. Let me go over to the Dow Jones. Firstly, what I want to do, guys, I want to show you this here as well too. One thing I did notice by squeezing my chart all the way up is by looking at this chart, you can see what's happening here. Now, what I'm talking about is this. If you have a look at this here, you can see we have this leg down. Actually, let's go do that again. So let's go leg down. So we have this leg down. But look at this here. This looks like a bear flag, doesn't it? Bear flag. Shoulder, head, shoulder, neckline, break down. We're actually, and it's holding at that 18,000 level, guys. So guys, do not be buying this market right now, because there is nothing bullish. The market is struggling to go up. And yes, there's a lot of fundamental news and all that sort of stuff. But guys, read the charts. Read the Dow Jones. And that's what I've been saying, guys. And you guys, if you guys have been following me for the last couple of months, you guys know I've been saying focus on the Dow Jones, because it's showing you, it's telling you what's happened. And ever since this false breakout, which I was calling a false breakout, and then we've got this thing here, I've been saying we're likely to get some movement to the downside. And that's exactly what we can see. So, and again, guys, if you go back to the last couple of months, this thing is actually working out exactly the way that I thought it was going to. When the market broke down, I said we're likely to get a rally up into this resistance, and then we're likely to get a drop down. Well, guys, weekly line chart is exactly working out that way. So let's actually go to the weekly chart as well too, guys. There's nothing bullish about this. All right, you can see here that we actually have this whole thing here is indeed a nice, just a false breakout. You can see a whole false breakout through here. You see that resistance though, and guess what's happening now? We're getting rejected back down again. We cannot close above the 18,400 level. We need that for a bullish move. It is not closing above that. We're holding this support level here, guys. I see something pretty big coming out in the markets. Maybe tonight. Maybe it will. Maybe it's going to be next week. But October is shaping up. Is exactly like 1929, 1937. And you can see the charts. The charts are telling you what's happening, guys. Don't be fooled. Don't be saying, oh, the plunge protection team The charts are telling you. Go back and look at my biggest stock market crash in history video. It goes for 25 minutes and I explain to you the reason why. And you can see the reason why it's coming. That, you know, major selling is coming. So let's go have a look at all the other indexes here. So same with the S&P, but what have we got on the S&P? Listen, you know, this is where when you squeeze it up. Look at this here. Run down, and now look at this bear flag. Down to 2,000 pretty quickly, maybe even a lot more. Maybe even a lot more by the time October's finished. So pretty scary. Now the interesting thing, guys, is that if I bring up the weekly chart on the S&P, and the 1929 crash was about a 20% crash. Now where it is right now to there, that's almost a 30% crash. So are we gonna get that sort of thing? This is the resistance based on the monthly chart. You can see here. So if we do start to break this major channel, you can see this whole major channel through here. That if we do break that major channel, then I think we're likely to get some movement on the downside. So we can see what's going on through there, guys. Do not be buying this market. Do not be buying this market. Do not be long this market. It's just crazy. All right, let's go have a look at the Nasdaq as well too. Nasdaq's the one that's been sort of hovering around here. But the one thing about the Nasdaq, if you've been noticing, the Nasdaq's rolling over. We've got a selling volume, and the thing about the Nasdaq is this, right? We had this overall resistance through here. It ran up. Little false breakout, and now we're rolling back down. We get a little bit more selling. That's going to be that's going to be the false breakout on the Nasdaq, and then bam, 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 wham, wham, bam, bam. Thank you, ma'am. It's likely going to hit October's, guys. October's going to be a crazy month. It's all in the charts. One of my millionaire mentors said, John, the better you can read the charts, the better you can read what's happening fundamentally. So the better you can read the charts, the better you can see what's happened fundamentally. So for example, if I go look at Deutsche Bank had a pretty massive sell-off today as well too. It's like down almost 7%. You can see we had like a massive selling in today's market. And I think there's a lot more to come, obviously, with Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank is in big trouble, real big trouble, guys. So looking at this situation, looking at this scenario, let's have a look at this here for a minute. When we can see if we have a look at the Deutsche Bank, we can actually see this, right? We can see that if we bring up the weekly chart, just by looking at this chart, we can see something's majorly wrong with Deutsche Bank, right? We don't have to look at the fundamentals. We can say, okay, something's wrong with this company, because we continue to step down. A nice, good, strong, fundamental company doesn't go down like that. So, guys, the better you can read these charts, the better trader you'll be. But also, the more you can understand the fundamentals. And one of my millionaire mentors said to me, he said, John, when you really know how to read these charts, like really know how to read them, you can see what's happening behind the scenes without even seeing it, without even knowing what it is. And that's why, guys, the Dow Jones right now is pretty scary. Pretty scary. So this is the Dow Jones, and guys, go back and watch the biggest stock market, and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about there. And look at the SPY and the QQQ, but look at the VIX as well too. VIX had a pretty big spike. VIX actually got up to around about the 15 mark, and then came back down where it is right now. Guys, I just think that's the start of something major that's going to come out of the markets. I think we're ready for a pretty significant spike in the VIX. It's just lining up. We can see that, right? We can see it. We can feel it. You can see what's happening with Deutsche Bank. It's on like Donkey Kong. So let's go and have a look at silver and gold. Silver actually had a sell-off during the markets. Really interesting to see what's happening with silver and gold. This is sort of the triangle pattern. What's happening here? You've got this, and it's really interesting, guys. What do we have here? We have these peak, this trough, this lower trough. We have this basically lower peak, higher trough, lower peak, higher trough. Who's going to win out of control this? But you can see the stochastics is running down here quite quickly now. So are we going to get a turning point here, like we did over here before Brexit happened, and then obviously things took off? So is that what we're about to see in silver and gold? Interesting question, right? So that's actually silver market. Let's go have a look at gold. I noticed my last market update, silver and gold wasn't there. So what's happening with with gold right now. Again, guys, it's really, really, really simple, right? Let's go have a look at these peaks and troughs. We have a peak, we have a trough, we have a peak. So this is a equal peak. We have a higher trough, we have a lower peak, we have a potential higher trough. So guys, if we start to get this sort of action running up through there, guess what's going to happen? We're going to snap real quick. So October, guys, is going to be a crazy month. I see a lot more bullishness in the metals and a lot more weaknesses in the indices. So you can just see it's happening here. If something big happens, literally, you know, we're going to see some massive moves in silver and gold. Probably even some pretty big air gaps as well too, or just pretty big gaps in itself. We're going to see so much buying in silver and gold, I believe. Let's go have a look at the oil chart as well too, guys. Oil. So this is the oil chart, and you can see the oil actually broke out here, and now it's actually running up. To me, I'm not really worried about this. We're starting to get more bullish signs now, aren't we? Again, let's look at the peaks and troughs. And I know I talk about this all the time, guys, but this is what you want to keep an eye for, right? Lower peak, lower trough. This was actually a lower trough here. Then we had a lower peak. What's this now here? This is a what? A high trough breakout. Who's in control now? What's it going to form up here? Higher peak, right? So buyers in the short term are in control. I'm still watching this weekly chart because I want to see a weekly close above here. I want to see a weekly close above this resistance here, which I think we will get. And the reason why, guys, is because you can see this here. We have this trough here. We have this higher trough. We have a high trough. We're pushing up. I think we're likely to break. And this is like a nice ascending triangle. And I think we're likely to see a pretty big run on oil. You can see here at least to the 60 mark, but I think we're likely to break that and run back up to the 70 because that's where the big head and shoulder formation is coming in play. So let's go have a look at the Australian dollar, US dollar. Just quickly here, let's go have a look at this weekly chart. So sort of hovering around here, not much going on the US dollar, the Australian dollar. Let's go have a look at the US dollar. Let's see if we can see anything here. Pretty much nothing. Again, pretty much sideways. Let's go have a look at the UUP. And UUP, guys, if you squeeze this chart up here really big, what do we see here? We can see on the short term anyway, guys, we can see that we have this sort of strong selling, strong sellers, and then these buyers are quite weak, and we've got this sort of triangle pattern happening on a pretty big downward movement. So guys, I'm expecting this to break and break hard. Silver and gold explode, and something big is about to hit the market, guys. So be warned, be warned, be warned. So there we go, guys. Just a quick little update. I hope I didn't miss anything. No, including Deutsche Bank. You know, guys, you know, major selling warning. Yeah, do not be buying this market at all. Remember, success can be yours if you go claim it. So step up, take massive action, face your fears today. I'm not going to BS you here. Trading is hard. Over my 10 years of trading, I've learned some amazing systems and strategies, and I've put it all in my brand new Grab the Markets by the Balls course, and I'm giving you 100% free access. This whole course is 12 videos long and almost 10 hours of the best systems and strategies that I know. Click on the image below now to get 100% free access right now.